AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Let's talk about the week ahead. We do have more opportunities for some rain around here. Each and every day probably won't be a washout. The best chance for rain this week looks to be sometime Thursday and the Friday with a cold front coming our way. A few storms possible later this week as well. And as time goes by here through next weekend, we may see some inches of rain total on up in the rain gauge. But for your Monday, a few showers, extensive cloud cover, maybe a few breaks of sun thrown into the mix there, but temperatures will be moderating into the upper 60s. Tuesday, low 70s. St. Patrick's Day, more or less the same story. A chance for a few showers around here and some cloud cover. Wednesday, back into the upper 70s. Still a chance for a few showers, but not really a big player for us. Temperatures right now across our area range from the mid-40s to the low 50s. As we expand the view, it's 73 in Hattiesburg, 70 in Montgomery. There's a frontal boundary that has been splitting the states in two. It's been wavering back and forth for the last week. It will start to migrate back to the north as we go throughout the next couple of days. And here you go. Tomorrow, 60s here, 70s and 80s to our south. As we get into your Tuesday, it gets a little bit warmer here, and that warmer air will win out a little bit more so on Wednesday. So I think we'll be flirting with 80 by the middle to end of this work week. Now, Thursday, spring officially begins, astronomical spring. It begins March 19th, late in the evening, but spring almost here officially. Spring is actually coming earlier and earlier if you look at the leaves coming out, and it looks like 2 days earlier as an average down here in the deep south, as climatology suggests over the last couple of decades that things are getting warmer earlier, and that's allowing the spring leaves to bud up. You probably noticed that this year I actually had a rose bud in January since we had extremely warm temperatures earlier this year. You can see our time lapse from Columbus today, our Alpha Insurance camera at Durham's Pharmacy. The clouds moving on through the showers earlier this morning, giving rise to some dry conditions in the afternoon, but extensive cloud cover across our region right now. And it looks like we will wake up to a lot of clouds here on our Monday. Low 40s north, some low 50s possible in the south here. And as we go throughout the course of the day, midday 40s and 50s around here in the afternoon, we should start to moderate things a little bit into the 60s. The new data has come on in suggesting we may stay in the 50s. So let's be hopeful that we will moderate back into the 60s here tomorrow. But there will be a few shower opportunities around. The storm track continues from the southwest to the northeast. There's an area of low pressure out west. There's this big blocking high in the Gulf of Mexico. That has been the pattern. That will be the pattern all week long. So little disturbances will go along that battleground zone right here. We'll get brushed by some of that. No severe weather potential really for the next couple of days. Maybe by Friday right here, we may see a couple of stronger storms out there. But overall, a fairly benign weather pattern, even though it looks pretty active here, Cash, with a lot of opportunities for some rain. But, you know, we could have 7 days where there could be severe weather this time of year. We do not have that at this point, so that's always a blessing in disguise.
It's definitely a relief, kind of.
That's one less thing we have to worry about
At
right
least
now.
we're getting a break on some front, kind of.
Right, we need a break from everything right now, and the fact that we don't have tornadoes coming our way in the near term, that's always good news.
Thank God. All right, well, thank you, Keith. Coming up, it was the worst box office weekend in recent history.